Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
It has been a cold and wet Sunday across the San Antonio area. More showers moving through the area tonight. Let's get right to meteorologist Mia Montgomery tracking the latest. Mia, what can we expect throughout the night and as we begin the new work week?
Yep, really increasing rain chances through the overnight. That is going to linger into the Monday morning drive. So right off the bat tomorrow morning, especially along and east of I-35, you're definitely going to want to give yourself a little bit of extra time out the door and take the umbrella with you. Let's get right to authority radar, because really over the past 30 minutes or so, we've started to see some of this activity blossom. Scattered showers, a couple of heavier downpours now moving through San Antonio, especially right here in the downtown area near the Frost Bank Center. A little bit of light to moderate rain there as well on the far east side, stretching up closer to the Kirby area. Notice as we take a look farther off to the southwest, it's really just this little line that continues to move in near Palo Alto, a heavier downpour there. Near Somerset, crossing over 1604, and additional showers getting up and running near Pearsall out there in Frio County, as well as Atascosa County. Again, all of this generally moving farther up to the north as well as the east. We are expecting this rain coverage to increase as we sleep tonight. A few non-severe thunderstorms certainly possible, and some of this activity is going to include pockets of heavy rain. So do be careful if you're stepping out for the morning drive tomorrow. We may need to monitor for some ponding on the sides of area roadways and a few swollen spots in those low-lying and poor drainage areas. After that, we dry things out into Monday afternoon. Activity quickly moves east after lunchtime, but we're not finished with the rain chances. We'll talk about that, plus warmer temperatures in store this week, and get you another check at your authority radar coming up in just a few.
It's so hard. We'll never be the same again.
Nearly a month after she was killed, 18-year-old Savannah Soto is finally being laid to rest. Police say Soto, her boyfriend Matthew Guerra, and their unborn son were murdered just days before Christmas. Tonight, family and friends held a rosary in Savannah's honor. As her grandmother tells the night team's Daniela Ibarra, they are all praying for justice.
Instead of celebrating a new life, Savannah Soto's family is honoring the two they lost.
There is no moving forward.
Savannah's grandmother, Rachel, says waiting is painful.
She needs to be laid down already. She suffered too much, and she doesn't need to suffer anymore.
Savannah's family reported her missing right before she was expected to be induced to give birth. On December 26th, San Antonio police say they found Savannah and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, on Danny K Drive, both dead in a car.
It's so hard right now to know that I won't see her beautiful face anymore, to hear her crazy laugh, just the way she was. All I want to know is why. Why'd they do that to her? She didn't deserve that.
An investigation revealed the couple was killed in a botched drug deal. This is the surveillance video from the night of the shooting that ultimately helped police track down the suspects.
And I pray to God that they do pay.
Are you sorry for what happened?
Authorities believe 19-year-old Christopher Preciado is the sole killer. His parents, Ramon Preciado and Mirta Romanos, accused of helping clean up the crime scene.
Mirta, did you give Christopher your gun?
And Romano facing charges for allegedly giving her son the gun he used to kill the three victims.
I hope they give them what they deserve, maybe life in prison for all what they did to her.
While all three will be laid to rest, their families will have to relive the tragedy in the justice system. Records show the Preciados have pre-hearings the first week of February. Romanos will follow a few weeks later.
We all just want justice for all of them. And I pray to God that we get it soon.
Soto's funeral mass will be held tomorrow morning, and she'll be buried right after. We have those full details and a full breakdown of this entire case right now on KSAT.com. Reporting in San Antonio, Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio ISD hosting a press conference tomorrow morning to update parents and students on the status of their schools. If you recall, every single SAISD school was closed Thursday and Friday last week due to district-wide issues with keeping those classrooms warm. Yesterday, district officials announcing every school had been, quote, visited and analyzed since those closures, and that crews had been working all weekend long to ensure those schools will be able to open in time tomorrow. We have reached out to the district several times this weekend in order to get a more specific update on any possible closures for tomorrow. We haven't heard anything back, so we assume everything's open. The district says they will notify parents of any closures tomorrow if they happen. Until then, Just tune in to stay in the loop. Just scan the QR code you see on your screen there just to find the article on our website at KSAT.com. With just 2 days before the New Hampshire primary, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announces he is suspending his presidential campaign. ABC's Morgan Norwood reports on the latest shakeup in the race for the White House.
Tonight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who had been trailing behind former President Donald Trump and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, suspending his campaign for president. The decision coming ahead of Tuesday's consequential primary in New Hampshire. DeSantis making the announcement on this video posted to X.
If we don't have a clear path to victory, accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Trump touting the endorsement during a rally.
As you know, he left the campaign trail today at 3 p.m. and in so doing, he was very gracious and he endorsed me, so I appreciate it. I appreciate that, and I also look forward to working with Ron and everybody else to defeat crooked Joe Biden.
Nikki Haley wishing DeSantis well.
I want to say to Ron, he ran a great race. Having said that, it's now one fella and one lady left.
Now, the two-person race that Nikki Haley and Donald Trump had always framed is officially a showdown. A new CNN University of New Hampshire poll shows Donald Trump topping Nikki Haley by 11 points. In order to gain ground on Tuesday, Haley will look to moderates and independents who could swing the state her way. Donald Trump, though, leaning on his momentum from his Iowa win, looking to tighten his grip on the lead here in New Hampshire by way of his loyal base.
As I believe in him, I believe in his policies.
And former President Donald Trump is now fundraising off this latest endorsement from Ron DeSantis, saying it's time to unite as a party and defeat Joe Biden. Nikki Haley, on the other hand, insisting that she is still very much in this race, but time is running out as she looks to edge out former President Donald Trump. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Sticking with politics, lawmakers in Washington appear to be inching closer to a new funding deal. After a high-stakes meeting at the White House, Senate leaders Schumer and McConnell agree that a deal is close to the finish line. President Biden also throwing support behind the talks, which were sparked by congressional Republicans' request to include changes to U.S. immigration policy before supporting military aid for Ukraine and Israel. However, in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson might hold out for stricter border security measures after revealing former President Trump has been pressuring Republicans to not make a compromise. 3 people are dead and 2 more in the hospital after an overnight shooting in Katy, just outside Houston. And Harris County deputies say it all happened at a home they believe was being used as a short-term rental. A man and woman were pronounced dead at the scene, while another victim, a man, was pronounced dead at a hospital. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez estimates up to 20 people were inside when shots were fired.
It appears there were a number of people inside the residence, possibly just guessing between 10 to 20 people. We're told it was some type of short-term rental, possibly Airbnb. Outside of the house along the street, we also have some firearms evidence there, so there's evidence that other people were shooting outside of the residence.
Still unknown tonight what led up to that shooting, and no arrests have been made. Back here, closer to home, we're learning more about a crash that held up traffic for hundreds of drivers last night on I-35. San Antonio police say a woman partially pulled over to help a stranded driver near the AT&T Center Parkway exit and parked her Jeep partially over the shoulder and far right lane. Police say after the woman pulled over, a truck hit the Jeep, which then hit the woman and the person she was attempting to help. Both of those people rushed to a nearby hospital at last check. The woman was in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. The stranded driver is expected to recover. Meanwhile, it's unclear if anyone will face charges in that incident. Police investigating what led up to a major crash on the northwest side that left a man dead. This one happening early this morning on I-10 near Huebner around 3 o'clock this morning. Investigators say the man who died thrown from his vehicle on one side of the highway, then landing on the opposite side. No other cars involved in that crash. A salmonella outbreak linked to Cantaloupe now over. The Centers for Disease Control says the outbreak made more than 400 people sick, and was linked to 6 deaths. Canadian officials say around 160 people there were also made sick. The Machida and Rudy brand cantaloupes were sold at stores like Quick Trip and Trader Joe's between September and December last year. If you still happen to have it, you should throw it out or take it back to a store for a refund. Still ahead on the Night Beat, the families of the Robb Elementary shooting victims want to file criminal charges against the people responsible for the failures on that day, but the decision isn't up to them. How a criminal law expert expects the case to move forward. Plus, crime is on the rise in San Antonio, but not in all areas. What's behind the bump and why the drop in homicides might not be as big as it looks. Plus, ABC has had extensive coverage of Israel's war with Hamas. Coming up, a new look inside the tunnels under Gaza that Israel forces say housed hostages. And before we go to break, I want to remind you that if you need a place to stay that's warm this week as it remains chilly, the city of San Antonio has warming centers all over the place. Just scan this QR code to find the article on the website at KSAT.com for a complete look and a map where those locations are. The death toll in Gaza now stands at over 25,000. That according to Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health. Amid the fighting, ABC News crews on the ground continue to tell the story of war in the territory. ABC's Matt Gutman just back to the U.S. from Gaza, where he got a look inside some of the tunnels Israel says were used to hide hostages.
Even from inside this armored vehicle, the scars of war are visible everywhere in the Gazan city of Khan Yunis.
Pretty much all the roads around us are obliterated, and many of the houses are too.
A grim milestone marked in the conflict today. More than 25,000 killed in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. As the Israeli military continues its campaign against Hamas, it says it's also focused on finding the hostages. Israel believes many of them are hidden in tunnels hollowed out beneath middle-class neighborhoods like this. The IDF taking us to this home, we duck into the hole in the floor, then down 4 sets of stairs.
We're about 60 feet under a neighborhood in Khan Yunis, and there's this massive sprawl of tunnels right beneath where people were living.
See how well manufactured it is. Concrete arches above, concrete on the side. You can see all the different wires, coax, power.
There's a half-mile straightaway, then it opens to this large vaulted room.
These look like they held some sort of weapon here. It says RPG.
And a hallway leading to what Israel says were cells for hostages.
You can see a pillow, mattress, bathroom on the other end. They said they found articles of women's clothing and DNA that they've matched to hostages.
The IDF says about 20 hostages were held here and that it continues to search for the more than 100 hostages still in captivity.
Is it absolutely necessary to have leveled so much of the Gaza Strip and make life virtually impossible for the people who are left here to live?
Israel doesn't seek destruction, but we need to fight this kind of a terror base that was built underneath a neighborhood.
Meantime, the war grinds on. More than 60,000 wounded, among them 16-year-old Abdul Rahman Iyad, who Arnès de la Couture met aboard a French hospital ship docked off Egypt. He's one of the very few able to leave for treatment. He says an Israeli airstrike obliterated his home in central Gaza. Almost all my family is gone, he says. My mom, my dad, and siblings. I'm the only survivor left from the family.
That was ABC's Matt Gutman reporting. Earlier today, Prime Minister Netanyahu stressing the war will continue on all fronts and reiterated that as long as he is Prime Minister of Israel, he would firmly oppose the establishment of a Palestinian state. Back here at home, the water along the Riverwalk is officially back. Parts had been drained for some of the routine annual maintenance that happens. Crews removing sediment, buildup, and trash and making some necessary repairs along the river. In total, crews removing more than 46 tons of sediment and debris from the city's iconic landmark. When I first came here 20 years ago, Mia, it was drained, and I was like, this is the world-famous Riverwalk?
This is what everybody's been talking about? Well, hey, I'll tell you, the San Antonio River.
Filled up tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be very excited to get a nice, healthy drink of water, not just tonight and tomorrow morning, but we even have additional scattered rain chances that continue through at least the middle of the upcoming week. So you're definitely going to want to keep the rain gear handy. All right, here's the latest version of your Authority radar showing where that heavier rain is, really stretching from the downtown downtown area, all the way up I-35 on the far northeast side. So Alamo Heights, Terrell Hills on the far western edge of this heavier rain. Windcrest seeing plenty of that right now as well. Eisenhower Road stretching over to Rittiman, even near Roosevelt High School. Some of that heavy rain falling at the moment. We also have heard of a few isolated rumbles of thunder here in San Antonio, and that's not going to be uncommon here through the overnight hours. Non-severe, but still could be a little noisy in a few locations. You can see we even have more of that activity stretching down I-35 near Divine, near Pearsall, more scattered rain and a few healthier downpours up and running. I'll put this into motion here so you can see generally it is moving farther up from the southwest, pushing up to the northeast, and that's going to be the theme as we head into the overnight hours. Authority radar is expected to fill in even more so widespread coverage through the overnight and into Monday morning. We also have been monitoring plenty of drizzle, some of that heavier mist throughout the day today. Very dreary into the weekend, even stretching up into northwestern Bexar County near Bernie, up I-10 into Kerrville. Still plenty of that in the works right now. All of the activity that we've seen today and what we're going to continue to find through the overnight is associated with this area of low pressure that's been digging into the desert southwest. Essentially what it's been doing is allowing pockets of upper level energy to float across our neck of the woods, and that's what's going to help spark up that widespread coverage as we sleep tonight. So here's your futurecast depicting what the radar could look like as we head into our Monday. This is midnight, so in just a couple of hours, notice especially along and even west of I-35, more activity is expected to get up and running, crossing over the Rio Grande. Slowly this fills in and gradually works farther off to the east as we head into the early morning hours of our Monday. This is Monday morning drive time. By the time you're stepping out for the morning commute and the drive to school, notice along and east of I-35, New Braunfels here in the Alamo City, Pleasanton, Floresville, Karn City, Gonzales, even over near Shiner and Hallettsville, we are expecting some heavy rain to kickstart the day. So go ahead and plan on giving yourself a little bit of extra time to get to where you need tomorrow morning, and also pack the umbrella. That's definitely going to be needed at least into the first half of tomorrow morning, but then notice by lunchtime most of that pushes eastward. A little bit of cloud cover is still expected. I think we could see a few peaks of sunshine up into the hill country and farther off to the west. For the most part, tomorrow afternoon is going to be much drier than what we're expecting to find first thing tomorrow. Notice though into Monday evening, a few isolated showers possible across our far eastern counties, and then another round is expected overnight Monday and into early Tuesday. Now just factoring in the rain we're expected to see over the next 24 hours, again, a healthy drink of water is expected in and around the San Antonio area. We could pick up on anywhere between an inch to an inch and a half of rain here in the Alamo City. Generally lighter totals the farther west that you go, a few healthier totals the farther east. We did talk about the potential for some additional scattered rain into early Tuesday, looking like potentially higher coverage. Right now we've got it at about a 70% chance. Once again, drier into Tuesday afternoon, then another scattered chance, not as high in coverage on Wednesday, about a 40% potential, and then just isolated as we head into your Thursday and Friday. I want to talk about our temperatures because it has been very cold out there this Sunday. We struggled to climb out of the upper 30s this afternoon across a good chunk of Bexar County and even up into the hill country. I think we warm a few degrees by tomorrow morning. 44 at 7 a.m. here in town, 49 at 11 o'clock in the morning. Check out your daytime highs, a bit warmer in the 50s. So that is also going to be a trend this week, along with the rain chances. Notice warmer temperatures, so lows in the 50s transitioning to highs in the 60s, potentially even low 70s as early as Thursday. Drying things out next weekend, but Tim, I think considering the Arctic air that we started last week with, a lot of us very excited to see these warmer temperatures.
Rebounding quite nicely, a nice drink. I will selfishly ask that we keep the nice weather going through next week when I got to pack everything up and get on out of here. We'll be back with a preview of Instant Replay right after this. The NFL playoffs are rolling on without the Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans, as both are now looking forward to next season. And it looks like Victor Wembanyama will see an increase in playing time very soon. Here's Larry Ramirez with a preview of what's on Instant Replay.
And even with his minutes down by 5, 6, 7 minutes a game, he was still pretty much a double-double machine. After tweaking an ankle 3 times in less than 2 weeks last month, the Spurs are limiting Wemby's minutes per game just out of precaution. restriction, but that could end very soon, coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Will that 27 go up by the next game, or is that where it is?
I don't think so. Not by next game, but perhaps after that.
Wemby's minutes restriction could be lifted in time for the Spurs home showdown Wednesday night with the OKC Thunder. Before that, Victor and the Spurs came back to beat the Wizards last night, and Wemby was all about defense.
3rd and 5, Goff. End zone. Touchdown. Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, baby. John Jay alum Josh Reynolds caught a touchdown to help the Detroit Lions beat the Bucs to advance to the NFC Championship for the first time in 32 years. The NFC title game is all set.
The foundation we set is a hard one built on rock, like D'Amico always talks about. But yeah, man, I'm gonna continue to work my tail off next year to make the city of Houston proud.
C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans surprised a lot of people this season by advancing to the second round of the NFL playoffs. Stroud and head coach D'Amico Ryans had the Texans trending in the right direction, and C.J. loves it. We've also got today's NFL action. A veteran Zamora High School wrestler hit a huge milestone, and it looks like Wemby's minutes restriction will be lifted. Do you agree? Vote now on X. That and more coming up on Instant Replay.
He's got to get the body used to the NBA season grind.
He sure
He's
does.
been playing basically since he got here. He was right up to the whole thing.
Yep.
So he needs a rest.
He does.
I don't know anything. I'm just guessing. Hey, we'll talk about more stuff I don't know right after this.